So I want to talk about this black fuel here now, whether it's for a signal cannon or a antique muzzleloader propellant. There are 1,000 billion videos on this topic, but this guy right here, he's got really good information. So if you want to know about the technicalities of, the results and what processes, what charcoals and everything, go check him out. But I just want to kind of put in perspective here some things that I learned, because there's a lot of questions that I had. So starting out with your mixture, now you use the potassium-based fuel at various types of carbon sources and then sulfur. So there's a couple different ways you can start this. A lot of times guys will take their oxygen base and their charcoal and they'll screen it through a screen, with various sizes. Now what I found is this process can take a lot more time than is useful. So what I found here is using the magic bullet with a mill blade. This one doesn't have a mill blade in it, that's a chopping blade. Milling blade just has the flat bottom on it. So what I've determined here is, if you measure your stuff out in increments, say you want to make 100 grams at a time, I'll mix my, I won't mix them in these, but I'll grind all this stuff separately until it gets into a powder. And then I'll put it in a container, something like this, just a Amazon, storage container, and you can shake it up to mix it. So even though it's been pummeled in the mill, you always want to mill it. Now this is just a cheap, Harbor Freight style mill here. There's about 25 lead balls in there, and there's some, there's 3/8 and 3/4 inch brass in there too. I wanted to kind of change up the shape. So what you'll notice if you use the same size media is you'll end up getting lines in here where the balls will kind of, they'll follow a path because they're all the same size. But if you have different size media in there, it makes it, a little bit more random. Now, once you get your mix all mixed up, you want to separate out your media using a screen. And then there's a couple different directions you can go here. You can either add water and alcohol. You can make a nice dough ball, which I'm not going to go into that. There's plenty of videos on that. And you can screen grind that into, onto a cookie sheet or whatever. That'll make what they call granulated black powder, which is going to look like this. Just really small, just granules. The size depends on the screen that you use. And for most applications, that's plenty, especially if you're just using it in a signaling cannon or something like that. But if you want to refine it a little bit more, if you're using an antique muzzleloader, this can be a little bit dirty at times. So you can do a couple different directions here. You can use it just like this, or you could even, some guys in the pyro community, they'll actually take this and put it back in the mill and mill it again, and then they'll puck it into pucks using a puck press. So this was the first one I used. It's a dab press, but you can see it's a little ballooned out there. So the problem here is the more force you put down, it's got less surface area, so that has to go somewhere. So this one's ruined. I just use this for smashing things up. But what I found is this one's a 1.5 inch, which gives you a little bit better size puck to deal with, and also it doesn't balloon out. So what I do is just have a little container like this. Now, over trial and error, I've determined that 30 grams is perfect for this. So what I do is I'll weigh out 30 grams of my propellant, put it in here, and then I'll add 0.8 grams of alcohol. Now, you could use a couple different things here. This is just 75% ISO, which I'm just trying to use up here. So this is 70% alcohol, which means it has 30% water in it. So you could also use 80-20 mix of distilled water and denatured alcohol. It really doesn't matter. The alcohol doesn't really matter what it is by the type of it. So I mix that in there, and then I'll use a fork and just kind of, knead it in there. The stuff doesn't need to be super wet. It just needs to be moist. Now, if you've added dextrin to it, which is a binder, usually about 3% is sufficient. You can go up to 5% if you want harder granules, but the more dextrin you add, the slower and weaker your powder is. So once I get that, a little bit moist, it'll kind of stick to the fork a little bit. I take that, put it in here. I take this over to the shot press, and I'll press this down to about 10,000 psi, which is about 5 tons. Now, once you press it, it's going to consolidate, and you can actually watch the pressure drop. So what I'll do is I'll press it until it stays about 10,000, starts to bleed off a little bit, and then I'll press it up to about 12, which is about 6 tons, and then it'll bleed down and stay about 10,000 psi, and I'll let that sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you pop your pucks out of the press. You'll see they'll be shiny. That's what you want. You want this to be plasticized. Now there's a little bit of debate on this, on whether it's the sulfur, it's plasticized, or if it's the just the pressure of it. Now some of the guys that use this strictly for antique muzzle loading propellant, they won't add binder at all. This is, the binder's more for a Canon style pyrotechnic composition. So pull your pucks out. I usually put them on a cookie sheet or a piece of wax paper. You never want to put them on regular paper. You say never, but it's not ideal, because if there's moisture in here still, the wood or paper or whatever will leach that out, and your nitrate, oxygen-based potassium is going to be dissolved in that liquid. So these pucks, you want them to dry sufficiently. These ones have been drying for about a week. It's hard. So the next step here is we want to grind it, and the target size here depends on what your application is. So this stuff here is pretty big. This is, I'm shooting for a 1F, 2F. So I got this grain grinder here. This can easily be found for 20-30 bucks online, and basically you just drop your puck in and grind it up. So I'm not going to show that process here because it's kind of loud, but once you get it ground up, you end up with these nice hard chunks. So the next step after this is going to be running it through a series of screens to classify your sizes. So once you get that far, you can use it as is. Now there are some guys that'll put this back into the mill without any grinding media, with just a tiny bit of graphite, and that will kind of round over some of these hard edges, and it gives it that nice black color. Now typical black powder like this, it's going to be sort of a gray color. This is red cedar charcoal in here, but even though it's got that, it's still kind of a gray color. So at this point, I'm going to classify this, and I'm going to leave it because I want these sharper edges for my signaling cannon for New Year's, because that's going to give a more surface area, more better for this particular application. If you wanted, for an antique muzzle loader, the polishing helps for when you're loading. You want your volume, because oftentimes they'll measure by volume instead of weight. So yeah, that's it. This process takes a couple days. It took me a couple hours to make these pucks, and then a couple days to dry. So if you used a drying box, that could increase the speed of drying, or there's various other ways to do it. But this is it. So I just kind of wanted to make this to show some of the things that I've learned and answer a few questions that I had, from watching videos. And the pressing pressure was one of the things that I had questions about, because a lot of people say, you want to press it between 1.5 to 1.75 grams per cubic centimeter, which involves math and stuff. But this strategy here seems to work out pretty well for me. So this is going to be for the Canon for New Year's.